What's up guys, welcome back, or if it's your first time to my channel, welcome back with you once again for another physical movie haul. And today, a little bit something different. Usually it's a Goodwill haul, but today, these are not from Goodwill. My favorite thing to do is really Goodwill. Number one, because, $1.50 for a movie, you can't really beat that. That's pretty awesome. You can get a lot for a little money. But sometimes you gotta go online if you want something specific. If there's holes that you're trying to fill in your collection, or there's those harder to find movies, you gotta go online and, kind of look around and see what you can find. There was a couple that I found really good deals on that are on my list that I've wanted to add to my collection for a while. So I ended up buying some movies online. I've got 3 from eBay and I've got 1 from Mercari. I'm going to share that with you today. But before we get started, if you do enjoy the video, like, comment, subscribe. Any interaction with my video helps the channel and lets me know, what you're thinking about the content. Also, comments are my favorite thing. You take a few minutes, a couple seconds, drop a comment, let me know what you thought of the video, what you thought of any of the movies that I talk about. If you agree with my takes, if you disagree with my takes, all that stuff. Free reign, as long as you're respectful, that's all that matters. Any comment is much appreciated. But let's go ahead and get into what you came for, and that is the movies. First of all, we'll start with eBay. eBay found a seller that had 3 movies that actually more than 3 movies, but the 3 movies I ended up buying, 3 of some of my most wanted for a really good price, and the person had a buy 2 get 1 free, or was it buy 2 get 1 free? I think it was, yeah. Buy 2 get 1 sale deal on the 3 that I wanted, which was lucky for me. So I was able to tick off 3 that were on my list to buy. All these are DVDs, but first of all, we'll start with Anaconda. This one here was one of my favorites as a kid. 1997. 1997. Wow. I probably didn't see this until 98 or 99. Because back in the day, it's like movies took a lot longer getting from the theater to, home video. Because I'm pretty sure that I remember seeing this back, it would have been on VHS. So I'm that old. But 1997, I probably saw it in 1998. But I remember loving this movie. I rented it a couple times. I found, anytime it was on TV, I would watch it. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's not for everyone. I think some people probably would categorize this as like a guilty pleasure movie or whatever. I really enjoy it. The cast is pretty dang good, in my opinion, too. Of course, it is, we got Jon Voight, we got Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, Eric Stoltz, which was the original Marty McFly in Back to the Future, that didn't work out, which honestly worked out for the best because I couldn't see anybody playing Marty McFly, but Michael J. Fox. This doesn't really give you too much to go off of. It basically says, in the search for a lost that's what it is. They're out documented, they're trying to find a lost civilization. They stumble onto a discovery that will literally take your breath away. This also, apparently that was a big thing, to interactive menus. I've never really been a fan of interactive menus. I don't want a whole lot of, gobbledygook on the screen or what have you, but whatever. English 2 channel and 5.1 Dolby digital languages, Spanish, French, subtitles, scene selections, widescreen and full screen format. So not a lot of extras in this one, and no disc art either. This is about as bare bones as you're gonna get. It does come with like a little pull out here with the cover of the movie, your scene selections, your chapters in the movie. Does have a little bit stuff here about kind of the making and whatnot. It's kind of like a little like a magazine article here talking about it. But it says here, deep in the Brazilian rainforest, a river barge makes its way up the Amazon. Aboard is a documentary film crew with a dream assignment: to track down the legendary Shirashama Indians, the people of the mist. But during a violent storm, the crew rescues a mysterious stranger, which is played by Jon Voight, whose boat is stalled on the river. It tells a lot. Just a little bit too much. I mean, it's not spoilery or anything like that, but yeah, they end up coming across a 40-foot anaconda, and yeah, very good movie. Like I said, it's like some people probably would categorize it as a guilty pleasure or whatever. I really like this movie. I also really like the sequel, Anacondas: The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. I think there's three. I think there's at least three, maybe four. I past the second one, I don't really have any interest because I think like one of them has David Hasselhoff in it, and I don't know. It looks bad, so I have no interest. But yeah, Anaconda, one of my heavily sought after movies, and goes for a pretty good bit most places that I saw. It's like I'm not giving $15 for a DVD. I'm not giving $15 for a movie that came out in 1997. I mean, but like I said, I was able to find a seller that had a good deal on these, so I didn't pay even close to that. I think maybe $3-4 a piece, and it's like that. It's probably less than that because of the deal. So, picked up Anaconda. Also picked up Chris Farley and David Spade in Black Sheep. This one is not as good as Tommy Boy, but I have a soft spot for it. I really do enjoy this movie. Not all of Chris Farley's movies that I enjoy. Tommy Boy is my all-time favorite. I love that movie. This one's pretty good. I mean, he didn't really make a lot, like as far as like being, the leading man or whatever. But this one not as good as Tommy Boy, but I still do really enjoy this one. Meet Mike Delaney, played by Chris Farley. He's one lovable, hilarious accident waiting to happen, dedicated to helping his big brother Al, which is played by Tim Matheson, win the race for the Washington state governor. He turns every opportunity for votes into an embarrassing disaster. Campaign aide and super slacker Steve Dodds, which is played by David Spade, volunteers to babysit Mike. When Mike discovers that the incumbent governor is a crook, he dives headfirst into a whole new level of well-intended destruction. And then, of course, it goes into Chris Farley and David Spade, the stars of Tommy Boy, once again show why they are, quote, the comedy team of the 90s, end quote. Directed by Penelope Spheris of Wayne's World. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Gary Busey is in it, and his character is he more or less plays himself. He's pretty zany in this movie, off the rocker for sure. But yeah, just a really good movie. Like I said, it's not as good as Tommy Boy, but I enjoyed it. It's got some great moments, and Chris Farley and David Spade were such a good team. They just had ultimate chemistry, and I was such a fan of Chris Farley because I've always been overweight. I was especially overweight as a kid. I was made fun of a lot, and I started using humor as like a kind of armor, I guess. Chris Farley was definitely one of my heroes, and someone that inspired me to kind of start like using, make people laugh, like laugh at you in, instead of laughing at you in a negative way, I guess. Make them laugh at you, I guess, before they can, like, I don't know. I'm not really sure how to say it, but it was one of those things that it's like he inspired me to kind of, become a little bit of a class clown. Maybe a little bit too much, because I did get in trouble for goofing off in class quite a bit, at least when I was younger. But yeah, this movie is fantastic. I'm really happy to have it in the collection. For some reason, this one just, I've had Tommy Boy in the collection for a long time. This one just evaded me for some reason. But now I own it, and I'm probably going to give that one a rewatch sooner rather than later. Next up, we've got Walt Disney Pictures presents Rick Moranis and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. I have not seen this one in a very long time. I remember really enjoying this movie. This one gets kind of overlooked. I mean, you do hear, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a lot. That's the one everyone remembers. This one kind of gets forgotten, or is forgotten. But it is a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Of course, this time, they have a 2.5 years old, and instead of shrinking him, Rick Moranis' character enlarges him. But it says here, this time wacky inventor Wayne Zelinsky, played by Rick Moranis, accidentally zaps his 2.5-year-old son with a particle beam, causing the child to grow whenever coming in contact with electricity. Soon topping 112 feet, the overgrown baby is attracted to the bright, shiny lights of Las Vegas, and nothing stands in his way. I'd forgotten that little bit, that he continues to grow every single time that he comes in contact with electricity, so he just continues to grow and grow throughout the movie. The only bad thing about this, I did not realize that this is full screen. Oh, I try not to buy full screen if I can help it, just because it looks so bad now on, widescreen, like, I guess standard TVs, because they're in, the widescreen orientation. But, I got a really good deal on this. These three together, I think, cost me like $9. I think is what I ended up buying all these for. So not bad at all. I paid less than what the basically the listing price was on all of them because of the deal. So I'm not going to complain too much about those three there. And they're all in really good condition. It's like the cases are in pretty good shape, surprisingly, which that doesn't matter to me. The discs themselves look, brand new. Last but certainly not least, this is the one I'm most excited for. I found this one for a really good price. I had some credit on, what I'm realizing? I just moved right past and didn't show the discs for Black Sheep, nor Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which this one surprisingly does have some disc art. I forgot. I tried to show the disc as well, and I just forget. But anyway, this is the one I'm most excited about here. I had some credit on Mercari. I had like $4 on there from selling something long time ago. So I was looking on there, ended up finding this, and the price and with the shipping and then taking off the $4, I think I ended up paying maybe $4 for this, which is really good considering it's like this goes for, I've seen it as much as like $20, and that is Stephen King's Thinner. I love this movie. This is one of my favorites. This is one that doesn't get talked about a lot. I love this movie though. Luckily, this one, more than some of the other ones, is usually you can find on streaming. Because the last time I watched it, I think it was on Tubi. So it's usually easy to find, but streaming isn't always 100%. It's not always going to be available. So I really wanted to own this to again go into the Stephen King film adaptation collection that I have. This one I love. I saw this when I was really, really young, and I don't know. It's so good to me. But like I said, it's like I ended up paying like $4 for this. The thing looks brand new. The case, the disc. It's got the little chapter selection here. Chapter selection here. It's got some like screen grabs from the movie, with what some media outlets thought about it. New York Post, creepy, spooky. But it also has a thing here telling you how to care for your DVDs. You don't really hear about that very much anymore. You especially don't get it on, in with your Blu-rays or DVDs or anything anymore. But just talking about handling it, playing it, storing it, cleaning it, but damn good movie. One of my favorites for sure. But it's like let the curse fit the crime, and I love that poster or the cover, because I've seen a couple of different covers, and it's like this one definitely is my favorite one. I believe that was the actual the VHS cover, if I remember correctly. Like you would have, I remember seeing it walking into the movie rental place, whatever, Blockbuster, wherever you would go, seeing the VHS on the shelf. But this has an original theatrical format, THX sound and picture quality, Dolby Digital. It has the featurette, The Magic of Special Effects Makeup, with Greg Canham. Has audio commentary from director Tom Holland, and Joe Mantegna. English captioning, Spanish, French subtitle, all that kind of stuff. And I had honestly forgotten that this was directed by Tom Holland. But based on the bestseller Stephen King's Thinner, stars Robert John Burke and Joe Mantegna in the story of supernatural terror and a countdown to the ultimate payback. A 109-year-old gypsy hell-bent on revenge exacts a curse so shocking it compels its victim to gorge himself in an effort to avoid shrinking away to nothingness. With time running out and a torture so bizarre and powerful, even death seems a more likely option. Such a good movie. It's definitely, I've never actually read Stephen King's the Thinner, the actual book. It's one I haven't gotten around to actually reading, the book to know how, is this a faithful adaptation to Stephen King's writing? I don't know, but as a movie, I love this movie so much. It's so good. And it's Robert John Burke in the lead role is so good. And it's he's kind of an asshole, but not not so blatant, not such a big blatant asshole. So it's you do feel sorry for him as the movie goes along, and the fact is he does make some wrong decisions. He does he is kind of smug and everything, but throughout the course it's just does the punishment fit the crime? Does he deserve what he's going through, and ultimately does he deserve to die for what he's done? Just a really good movie. And Stephen King is arguably the king of horror. He's not always 100% hit. At least for me, it's like I have read some of the books as I've gotten older, but for me, Stephen King, I'm more familiar with the movies or the adaptations than his actual works. This is definitely one that's up there. Like Pet Sematary or It for me. Fantastic movie. Really, really happy to have it in the collection. So I paid less than $14 for these 4 movies, and all of these were ones that were pretty high on my list that I wanted to own. So really, really happy to have these 4 now in the collection for all time. So I now have those whenever I want to watch them. Don't have to worry about it, because it's like I don't know if Honey, I Blew Up the Kid is on Disney Plus. I'm not sure. I know Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is. Like I said, Thinner I can usually find on streaming. If nowhere else, Tubi. Black Sheep and Anaconda are very, very rarely ever on streaming. I say that, and they're probably on there now, but those 2 are rarely ever on streaming. So that's another reason why it's like physical media is so important, especially important to me, because it's like I want to have these movies for whenever I want to watch them, rewatch them. My fiance and I will just be talking, and a movie will come up, and we'll be like, when's the last time we watched that? It's been a while. It's like, let's put it on. And so that's the way it is, and that's why owning physical copies of these movies, they're always going to be there. If you want to watch it, it's right there. Go grab the disc, pop it in, and and enjoy. But that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate your time as always. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Comment, let me know. Have you seen any of these movies? What do you think about them? Maybe me gushing over these movies makes you want to go out and find them, or if you can find them on streaming or what have you, go check them out. I would highly, highly, highly though recommend Stephen King's Thinner. If you can find it, definitely check that one out. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay awesome and keep collecting.